Welcome everyone. So I'll put in the chat, but I'll also be sharing the screen just to get this on the records. Wise crowds, probably you came for this space to play with liberated structures. So that's what we are going to do. But the basic idea here is to really improve our practice with liberated structures. So we'll be sharing among ourselves and also discovering new ways to combine different liberated structures, which is kind of a second step. After we learn some structures, we start combining them to get even better results. So Carolina just led us on the attention and presence. I'm now doing some orientation, but in a minute, we'll be doing abundant greetings. I will explain in a minute. And then we'll be doing one round of wise crowds as it is. And then we'll be refining an agenda using these slides over here. So, and then harvest, let's see what we got from the groups, and then we close. So 9 minutes just flies by. And abundant greetings, what it is, it's me or you, Carolina? It's you.
Yeah, it's but you can go.
But the rooms are ready, you can invite people.
Okay, awesome. So the abundant greetings is a place that we can really be more profound than just like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm fine. And you? Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. You know, like this kind of conversation. It's just to go deeper and to greet each other. And how we are going to do this. So you're going to be in triads. And I just put in the chat, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prompts, 5 questions. And you can answer 1, 2, or all of them. It's your choice. And what you are going to have, it's 3 minutes to do that. The other 2 in your room will be just listening. And you may use your whole 3 minutes. If you stop before, you just can keep in silence, because this is your time. This 3 minutes, it's yours. And then go to another one, and then go to another one. So in total, you have 9 minutes, 3 minutes per person. And you can choose 1, 2, 3, or how many, or even the 5 questions to answer and to present yourself.
And I'll put another 5.
Wow.
These are different ones.
Okay.
Okay, so 9 minutes. There will be one group with 4 people, so it needs to be a little bit quicker, but it's okay. I'll add 1 more minute. Yeah, 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, you don't have to click anywhere. You'll be in a room. The timer will be ticking on the top. When it closes, you still have 30 seconds, and then you'll be back in the main room. Okay. See you in a bit. Hey. Maybe we should put the link. Let me put in the chat for you the abundant greetings documentation. So if you want to do this punctuation, you can. So quick poll, just to know who's home. So what's your relation with liberating structures? We include one as a suggestion from a participant. She knew very little, but practiced very often. So that's a nice option. I just know a bunch, but. Two more people. 1 more person. Okay, let's see the results. So we have people knowing a little, but some know well. Yeah, okay. Nice.
What are liberating structures?
What is this meeting all about? Okay, Carolina, let's get some clients.
Okay, so first I'm gonna explain how the wise crowds works, and then we are going to see who is going to be what. So how it works, you're gonna have 3 minutes. So you're going to have someone, a client, who has a challenge or something that want to know more which liberating structures I can use. So what is the perfect or the best sequence for my challenge?
Like an event or training or workshop.
Meeting, anything. So then this client's gonna have 3 minutes to share and present the challenge and the request. And after these 3 minutes, the other people in the group, in the room, who will be the consultants, are going to ask clarification questions for the client. So after this 6 minutes, the client turns the camera and the mic off, and is gonna just take notes, because the consultant is going to discuss and create options, always looking to the liberating structures. What would be the recommendation in liberating structures? And what you think it's good to use for that challenge. So after this 9 minutes, the client turns the camera on again and the mic, and just share what was valuable. Okay, so in total 16 minutes, one client, one round. And now we want you to rename yourself with, I'm going to put in the chat. So client can be like a red circle, consultant a green one, and apprentice a yellow one. So rename yourself what role you want to take. You want to be a client? Do you have a meeting or an event or a workshop coming up that you want some ideas?
Sorry, Carolina, is there an easy way to make the colored circles?
You
Are
can
you a client, Kylie?
I don't know what I am yet.
You
Yeah,
can get these icons copy from the chat if you want to just select and copy, and then you rename yourself, pasting at the beginning of your name.
Oh, you want us to copy the whole thing? Okay, got it.
Yeah, just the red or the green or the yellow circle, it's okay.
I have
So we
completely
space
forgotten.
for up to 3 clients.
I can only see the red circle.
So maybe you are a client.
So Isabel, can we keep you as a client?
You can use me as you wish.
Okay, so you are a special client. Tamila is also a client. I will just move your red circle to the beginning, then it's easier to see. Who is the third client? Jen.
I would
Awesome.
love to be a client.
So we have 3 clients.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect for our group size.
So, and all the apprentices now are upgraded to consultants.
So sorry, I'm totally lost. I'm not sure how I'm getting this. I'm supposed to copy it from the chat?
It's okay, Kylie. It's okay now. We are already with the groups. So let's explain again, Carolina, how it's going to work.
Okay. And just a minute that I'm gonna rename here. Okay, so I just put in the chat a link for a menu of the liberating structures if you need this resource. And I'm gonna put again in the chat, so the steps and the time allocation. And so again, 3 minutes, you're gonna have Jen, Isabel, and Tamila. One of each is going to be in one room with a group of consultants. And so you clients are going to explain in 3 minutes your challenge or the event or what you want to have for them. So what is the request? And then after these 3 minutes, and be attention with the timing. So the consultant is going to ask clarification questions. After that, Tamila, Jen, and Isabel is going to turn the camera off and the mic off, and is going to listen for some ideas that will come up. So some suggestions and recommendations of liberating structures for that challenge. And after these 9 minutes, 1 minute for you to turn on your camera and say what was valuable. So this is 16 minutes in total. Okay, it's all in the chat, so if you can follow, and please take be very precise on this timing. It's very important.
So we have the 3 groups. So Jen, Tamila, and Isabeau are in different groups, and you have between 3 and 4 consultants in the room. So manage the time between yourselves. And the time will be ticking on the top as well to help you follow the steps. All good?
Yeah.
So see you in 60 minutes. Okay. Good work.
Very good. Super helpful.
Okay, Isabeau, good consultants. Okay, I can see invoices flying later. Okay, so let's go to the next step. I hope you now have a more clarity about the challenge you have in your hands, consultant and client, because now we'll be working together using this set of slides. So I'll give you the link in a minute. There is one slide with all the structures here. So you just have to copy to paste on your slide. So this is just one example. So one very important part is to write the critical objectives in order. So maybe the consultants and the clients can just discuss quickly, maybe 3, 4, 5 main goals or objectives. So in this case, in this example, connect the team, focus on the right problem to solve, and get creative solutions. So we can use, for example, impromptu networking and heard, seen, respected to connect the team. We can use trees to focus on the right problem to solve. And to get creative solutions, we can use one of these. Can be a 2510 crowdsourcing, improv prototype or dead, discover an action dialogue, and what, so what, now what at the end to refine. So this is one example. We have one slide for each client and consultant. So the names are on top. You can see here, Isabeau, Jen, and Tamila. And some tips for you. Very important, write the critical objectives on the top. First thing, because it helps you choose the right structures to use. Stay in a space of possibilities. Sometimes people end up with like 3, 4 different strings. That's awesome. You don't have one solution, you can have multiple solutions. Use and abuse of yes and, instead of fighting for which one, create another one. And remember to copy these icons from the main slide to yours. Don't cut, otherwise someone will be like 15 minutes looking for one icon and they will never find because you took it. So copy and then paste. And another tip is to focus first on the string and then take some time, if you have time, to focus on the invitations. We saw some people losing lots of time on the invitation for one first structure, but you don't have yet the flow. So get the flow, get the string, and then if you want, you can start crafting some invitations for specific structures. Any questions regarding the mechanics? So I'll put in the chat the link and just confirm if you can open on your side. And then we will open the rooms again. So we still have the same client, same challenge, 60 more minutes, but we'll be all working together. So the client now has a voice in the room. No questions? Okay, so let's have fun. 60 minutes. Here we are. Okay. And we would like to hear from you. So I can't share the slides on my side, just to make things easier. Just to listen to each group and see what you came up with. If you have any finding, discovery, learning, you can also share. And not just the consultant, but also not just the client, but also the consultants. Can we start with Isabel? Group 1?
Yeah, I'd love to open it up really for the consultants. Should we start there? Maybe the consultants can share a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If we have time, I can add.
Is it showing okay for you?
Yep.
So Rafael and Sabina, enough so. One at a time.
Okay, so the objective for Isabeau is to help her participants connect and explore and celebrate their own strengths, and then do some exploration around how they can apply them to bring more joy to their career. So it's a group of 30, and it's important for them to be energized and connected. So we started with impromptu networking and building on that with appreciative interviews. Sorry, I should preface by saying that they will already come to the workshop having outlined their strengths. So we don't need to delve into that in the workshop. It's just about surfacing them, sharing them, exploring them, and then bringing joy from them. So those are the that's the kind of string we built to look at it differently, to spark collaboration, to bring out some of the joy and the connections. So we that's kind of what you see is what we have on there. I'm realizing that we wanted to end with something nonverbal in which we draw, and we didn't quite get a chance to put that on. Anybody else want to jump in?
Good.
So during this time, we also learning about the structures. So this is something that all the consultants didn't have much experience with, all these structures. And we even asked the chat GPT to give some answers. So it was a fun exercise.
Oh, awesome. Just one suggestion I will get you is this one. Generative relationships. It's if people know their strengths, it's good to know what are the strengths of the group as a team. So that's one good structure to explore as well. Anything to add, Carolina?
No. Yeah, I like that. It's always good when we see some sequence that we never thought about before. That's why I like liberating structures. And this what I need from you, it's a very interesting liberating structure, but I find it more complex. So it's a more complex to facilitate, but it's amazing. So yeah.
Nice. So let's move to Jen. So Jennifer, Kylie, and Enki.
I can start sharing. So my problem was working with a team that doesn't engage at the level that I am hoping that they would engage in. And so the group helped me come up with some great ideas. We started with solving the problem of lack of meaningful engagement and using either Triz or Troika to kind of get at the problem. And with Triz asking what would a horrible meeting look like, and then getting them to then shift into 1, 2, 4 all to talk about the ideas, etc. And then come down to 15% solutions to take accountability for that. One of the places that we were going to was also what about structuring for future meetings, but I think either the Triz or the Troika using a similar problem would actually help generate some thoughts and structures to get us to that place. Well, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that I like very much, and I think it's very good that they work together very well, it's the trees and after the trees Troika, because in the end of the trees you're gonna identify counterproductive activity that you were doing and you want to stop. And you didn't stop that before because you don't know how, or you didn't identify that before. So then if you have that, okay, I have this activity that I want to stop. And then you go to Troika and think about, okay, so what are the possibilities that I have to stop it? So people are gonna help you to stop a counterproductive activity. So I like very much when you put trees and
Troika.
trees and Troika. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, can we move on?
Mhm.
So Tamila, with Erica, Mina, and Robin, what did you get?
Anyone would like to talk through that, or I can start. Yeah, basically we had the objective is just to get the feedback from leaders on the usage of the competency framework that has been implemented. So we just need to get a sense of from them, like how is it working? Like, are there any like things that we need to take into work before we start building on further talent development programs? And yeah, and we were thinking about these few techniques. And to be honest, for me, they are a little bit new. I think I didn't have a chance to experience them. So as talking, yeah. But I like this shift and share. I think it's like when we can kind of accumulate the feedback, so can be very, very productive. Because I was thinking like, what questions should I prepare for them to make it easy for them? Because I don't want this to be lengthy discussions. I really want to be directed discussions or structured discussions. And I find those prompts, they really help to have the better outcome when you really give people some questions and then they provide their feedback answering those questions. Robin, would you like to add a little bit?
Yeah, well, you were talking about doing a series of these facilitated discussions. Yeah. And so the idea of using fishbowl as a central activity in each of the discussions with different fish each time, and have the participants in the program speaking to each other about how it's going, what they like, what they don't like. It's really that great opportunity to be a fly on the wall and hear things that you wouldn't even necessarily think to ask about. But then to open it up to the whole group at the end with a question like, what's the most important thing you took away today, or what's the most important thing to talk about next time, gives you a bridge to continuing the discussion, in the next period. But your restriction of having about an hour for each session with 20 people put a lot of limitations on what we felt like we could reasonably suggest doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. I think like at some point I'll have to extend the timing. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours would be easier to put more, to have more structures in that sequence.
Feed them well.
Yeah. I mean, it's feasible 1 hour, but it's like, boom. Right?
Is it online or face-to-face?
Sorry?
Tamila, is this event online or face-to-face?
Oh, it's face-to-face, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so online you can save some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one structure that I thought like reading the critical objectives, and I don't know why it came to me, but it's together. And to think about what are the competency framework you want to use, we are gonna use, how you see yourself using it more. and then you do the drawing. And drawing together is a very good one because you get out of the sometimes too much talking and feedback from a non-verbal expression. So it helps.
And I was thinking about the what, so what, now what as well, to see what happened, what is important, and what should you do. And even if you have a large group, it's scalable because you can work with groups of 5, so they have time to discuss among themselves, and you just harvest the nuggets from each what. So can be helpful as well.
Thank you for that.
So many options. Okay, so let me stop sharing on my side. Anything that any one of you want to share with the whole group that was important during the exercise before we get to the closing? Learning, highlight, surprise.
Yeah, I don't want to put Jennifer on the spot, but what you said around working with Indigenous groups, I found really insightful. Do you mind sharing that around the 1, 2, 4 all?
Yeah, sure. I tried to use 1, 2, 4 all with an Indigenous group this weekend on some conversations they were having, because there was a lot of them in the room and they wanted to get through a lot in a day. And I knew it was unlikely, but they really wanted to try. So I tried 1, 2, 4 all, thinking it would give everyone an opportunity to connect. And if we went through it a couple of times, then they'd all have a chance to talk to most everyone else in the room at some point. And it did not work at all. I think actually the individual reflection at the beginning worked, but there was pushback immediately that it wasn't enough time. So I was stretching the timing on the pair and quad sharing. And then pairs was just too small. Like they wanted, the smallest group they wanted to talk in was at their small tables of 5 or 6, and then go straight to large group. Anki had made some good, we ended up working in circle basically the entire day, which worked out really, really well. But Anki made a good comment. I wonder if it should have been 1 all 4, 2, 1. Anyways, yeah, 1, 2, 4 all got a lot of pushback from this Indigenous group.
Yeah, I had that experience as well, Jennifer. And so then what I found in the end is that this timing, it's very for maybe, you know, more white Western people.
Yeah.
And, you know, this space. And so what works well for Indigenous people, it's like to have a kind of talk to them before and say, okay, we have a method that is very like based on, it's very fast kind of. So I would like you to try and see what happened. And, you know, like this invitation for them, sometimes it makes sense. And 1, 2, 4 all, I think it's the most like difficult one for them, because their culture is to have the talking piece and go for each person and hearing each one, you know, in a very profound way. And when we have this mixed group, we have this kind of, whoa, one is in this space and the other one wants to go faster. So conversation cafe, I think it's a good one to maybe start with, and then have a fishbowl of 1 person for each group of the conversation cafe. Also, you have more space for them to talk. It's in my experience, it's what I had the same experience as you, Jennifer. The first time was like, and the elders was just stepping back and you know, like this, and they were like, I don't do that. And
it's
then
funny, actually, it was the young people who pushed back more.
Oh,
yeah, it was the young people who pushed back more. But yeah. We ended up, yeah, anyways.
I mean, I did this activity with a group I had a lot of pushback on too, but I found that once I explained why it was structured the way it was and did that invitation to try it, opened up a lot of more willingness to try.
I did, so it's when they started to push back, I did actually do exactly that, and they did give it a go. But we collectively decided that, you know, we tried and it wasn't working, even though they kind of knew when I said, okay, let's change this up, let's do something else. Let's take another approach to this. They all had to kind of accept we're probably not getting through everything today we wanted to. But yeah, so yeah, they did try. It did not, I don't know how hard we tried, but it did not work. But circle ended up working by far the best. So I guess I appreciate the comments, Carolina, because I think these liberating structures are amazing for certain groups with a certain culture, and some, but not all of them, or maybe none of them, will work for other cultures.
Yeah, and I find this, just to go to the closing, that as much as we can, if we are open and we can invite them and hear, you know, like, and be with the group. And I think this, and see what's the best for the group, right? What you did, and like leading an improv troupe, it's good. So let's just think about what's your takeaway from this gathering. So if you want to pause your camera, close your camera, and then when you're ready, just open your camera. So close your camera and think about what is your takeaway from this Wise Crowds gathering. And when you're ready, just open your camera, and we are going to do a short storm. So you're gonna write in the chat, but don't press enter. We're gonna press enter all together. So just write your answer in the chat. What is your takeaway? Okay, so if you're ready, just show your hands. And I know that you're ready, Erica. Okay. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, enter. Ooh. Okay, we have 6 minutes more, so we would like to open for anyone who wants to share something.
Maybe you could go on the chat, Carolina, and just ask the person to add if needs and pass it on to the next person.
Okay, that's good.
Kylie was the first one, fastest.
Starting with Kylie.
Sorry, what am I doing?
If
You
you want
just-
to add or expand what you wrote in the chat, because you're following the chat order.
So I'll just talk about my third point, how it's really important to get exposure as being a participator to get on the other side of the camera, because usually we are doing what you're doing, Fernando and Carolina. And I've had a number of insights today being the participant. So I did that classic, wasn't listening when you were explaining the instructions for the first breakout room, right? Did the classic. Thankfully, you know, you had it in the chat, but it also made me, you know, I'm very, very time focused, but when we were in the breakout group, like we were 30 seconds a minute before we got down to it. So I realized I need to include that time in the breakout groups. And then, yeah, no, there's a couple times I was just busy, you know, peeling a banana, and like I wasn't listening to what you were saying at all, and I need to remember that as a facilitator. Yeah, thanks.
I think Jennifer is not here anymore. She probably had to leave. So Robin.
Yeah, I mean, the experience of talking through this with other people is always gets me into a better place than trying to do it all in my own head. And I don't know a lot of liberating structures practitioners around me, but I do try to connect as much as I can with groups like this online to get some of that. So really appreciate it.
Okay. Sabina, I jumped over you.
No worries. So I'm mindful of how many more liberating structures I need to learn. I was in the immersion workshop, but I'm finding that after the workshop, I'm still using the ones that I'm most familiar with. So this is a reminder to myself to just go on that website and keep, I even have the app on my phone. So really there's no excuse, just to keep kind of refreshing myself. So I have more options. But I'm really aware of how important it is to see who you're talking to and why. And I know a couple of people have mentioned that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now is Fernando, is that right?
Yeah, I just loved when people get connected with the challenge and they come up with different ideas. I just find this amusing. Love it.
Raphael.
I found very interesting how facilitation can be applied in different situations. I'm using to apply facilitation always to the same situation, and here I saw different scenarios, different combinations of liberating structures. So I found this very interesting.
Camila.
Yeah, I'm always amazed how these gatherings always like become so efficient, like within like structured timing, and sometimes you just get insights. I didn't like, for me it was just first try, and I didn't expect to have any outcome, but eventually have some ideas to take back to the project that I had. So I'm really appreciative, and it's great to be in this safe space, learn, connect, and co-create together. Thank you.
Thank you. Afzo. I don't know if I say it right, your name. I'm trying.
Yep. You said it right. I discovered liberating structures 2 years ago. I have a folder on my computer. There's a whole lot of resource in there, and I promised myself that I would get to it, and I got busy, so I didn't. So I'm now really motivated to do some formal training in liberating structures. Certainly see the value in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Erica.
Well, I have to say I'm grateful that I had the chance to participate, because I rarely have the chance to do this in Italy and also in Italian. That will be great. But yeah, I mean, I followed the training in France, and now I'm here with you. And so, also this interaction also in different languages and with different people, I think it's also enriching. So thank you also for creating this community.
Thank you, Erica. Goom.
I think this is me. Yeah, thank you, Carolina. Well, this is my first time participating in one of these events, and I will say that I feel very grateful to have this opportunity. I've been like practicing a little bit of liberating structures activities for a couple of years, but I have found that observing other facilitators modeling the activities just pop-ups in my head, because I'm more like an experiential learner rather than just reading a book or just reading the activity. So this is my favorite way to learn, I will say. So yeah, I found it like very useful, insightful, and I feel very grateful. Thank you very much for putting this together.
Thank you for coming. Enki, I think we are gonna close with you.
Thank you. Well, I just was very fortunate to have already participated in a 4-part workshop with both Carolina and Fernando. So this was much of a continuation, and I was pleasantly surprised actually when I was at another meeting probably last week or the week before, and the conversation was not going well. The structure of the workshop was, I was like, oh, well, I think they should have probably used scribing journals. Like I found myself being able to restructure the workshop based on like, oh, a liberating structure, and just more opportunities like this to practice them. And like Kylie said, be on the other side, because we're training to think about how you can use liberating structures to facilitate these conversations, but then you forget, oh, there's the participant experience too, right? So I find that really helpful, and to be able to practice it, because I'm quite new to liberating structures. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you all. It's so nice to have this opportunity and to meet new people, new faces, old faces, and it's very, yeah, we like that, and we always see different things, different sequences, and we can always learn together. It's the main purpose, I think, to be here.
I just put in the chat the link for, there will be an immersion in April, but feel free to get in touch with us if you need any support or any suggestion regarding liberating structures. Just send us an email and we'll happily help you. And we are 2 minutes
late.
That's the hour. Thank you guys for coming. See you next month.
Yeah.
See you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.